If love was a crown, Mama Grace wore it proudly because of her only son, Obinna. From childhood, Obinna had been her shadow. When she hawked akara at dawn, Obinna was beside her, shouting, "Hot akara, buy and shine your morning." Welcome to Niger Prince Folktales. Subscribe for fresh content, and let's explore the richness of tales. Join our community of like-minded story lovers. Please subscribe, like, share, and comment for new stories every week. Thanks. Let's know where you are watching from in the comments section. When she fetched water from the stream, the small boy carried his tiny gallon behind her, smiling. Life was not kind to them. The roof of their mud house leaked each time it rained. Their slippers had more holes than leather. Their meals were often just watery Gary and groundnut. But Mama Grace always looked at her son and said, "Obinna, my suffering is temporary. One day, you will stand tall. One day, you will lift me high." And God answered. Obinna was brilliant. He hustled, studied, and with scholarships and odd jobs, rose to build a business empire. From a single contract, his wealth exploded like fire on dry grass. But even in his wealth, he never forgot Mama Grace. He built her a small modern house in the village, sent her a driver every Sunday to bring her to Lagos, introduced her proudly at events. "This is my queen, my everything." Even in board meetings, he would sometimes pause to take her call. "Mama, how are you? Have you eaten? Do you need anything?" he would ask, smiling as the directors stared in shock at his tenderness. Everyone admired him. That boy will never forget his mother. His love is rare. But love stories have enemies. One evening, at a wedding party, Obinna met Nkechi, a tall, beautiful woman whose beauty could confuse a compass. She was charming, with laughter that rang like bells. Within months, he married her. At first, she pretended well. She knelt before Mama Grace, brought gifts, even cooked soup once. Mama Grace liked her. "She will take care of my son," she thought. But soon, things began to change. Each time Mama Grace came visiting, Nkechi frowned. "Obinna, must your mother always sit here in the living room? People will think we are village people." Obinna laughed it off at first. "My love, this is my mother. She deserves the living room, the bedroom, the whole house if she wants." But Nkechi's jealousy grew like a weed. One night, she stormed into her friend Rose's house, pacing. "Rose, this woman has tied my husband to her wrapper. Every small thing, Mama. Mama, if she coughs, Obinna will bring doctor. If she sneezes, Obinna will buy medicine. What about me? Am I a stranger in my own marriage?" Rose, a sharp-tongued lady with long painted nails, hissed, "My sister, men are like children. If you don't control them, they will worship their mothers forever. If you want your husband to respect you alone, follow me. There is a man, a native doctor. His charm never fails." And that was the beginning of a story that would twist Mama Grace's heart. Because out of jealousy, Nkechi agreed. She would go to the shrine, silence Mama Grace's influence, and chain Obinna's love only to herself. The night air was heavy. It was the kind of night when even the moon refused to shine, as if it didn't want to witness what was about to happen. Rose's car, a small Toyota Corolla with one noisy exhaust pipe, stopped in front of a crooked compound at the edge of the town. Bats flew overhead. Palm oil lamps burned dimly at the gate. The whole place smelled of smoke and secrets. Inside the car, Nkechi's hands trembled. She looked at her friend Rose. "Are you sure about this thing? What if Obinna finds out? He loves his mother too much." Rose hissed, adjusting her wig. "My sister, that's why we're here. You want to be a visitor in your own marriage? You want to compete with his mother until you grow old? Forget that thing. Once Baba does his work, Obinna will see you as his sun, moon, and stars. His mother will look like dust to him." Nkechi swallowed hard. Her jealousy had grown so deep, she couldn't turn back. Okay, let's do it. They stepped out of the car, heels clicking against the dusty ground. A small boy with white chalk all over his body led them inside. The shrine was dark, with red cloths hanging from the ceiling. Skulls of animals sat on the floor. In the middle was a huge clay pot bubbling with something that smelled like rotten palm wine. The native doctor, an old man with chalk lines across his face, sat cross-legged, holding a staff decorated with cowries. His eyes glowed like burning coal. "Who brings you to my house of power?" he asked in a voice that made Nkechi shiver. Rose pushed her forward. "She is the one, Baba. Her name is Nkechi. She is married to a rich man, but his mother still controls him. She wants to be free." The man chuckled, showing brown teeth. "So, you want your husband to forget his mother?" "Yes, Baba," Nkechi whispered. "I want him to love only me. Let him despise anyone that comes between us, even his own mother." The shrine fell silent. Then the native doctor nodded slowly. "It can be done, but there is a price. Are you ready?" Nkechi nodded quickly. "Anything, Baba. Just do it." The man poured palm oil into the clay pot, muttered strange words, then took a small effigy made of clay. With a knife, he cut Nkechi's finger and let a drop of her blood fall on it. The pot hissed as if alive. He handed the effigy to her. "From tonight, your husband's eyes will turn against his mother. Her face will irritate him. Her voice will sound like thunder to his ears. His love will belong to you alone. But remember, the heart of a son is sacred. Whoever tampers with it must one day answer to the spirits." Rose clapped her hands in excitement. "Baba, you are too much." But Nkechi didn't notice the warning. She only saw her victory. She left that shrine smiling, clutching the charm like a trophy. And truly, from that very week, Chief Obinna began to change. Mama Grace came to visit as usual. She carried fresh vegetables from the village, excited to cook her son's favorite soup. "My son, I brought you onugbo leaves. Today you will lick your fingers." But Obinna frowned. "Mama, how many times will I tell you? Stop bringing village things here. This is Lagos. We eat continental food." Mama Grace froze, staring at him. This was the same boy who once licked her soup and begged her for more. "My son, it is me. Don't you remember?" But Obinna turned his back coldly. "Mama, please stop stressing me." Nkechi stood at the corner, smiling in triumph. The charm was working. As weeks turned into months, it grew worse. Obinna stopped visiting the village. He refused to pick Mama Grace's calls. When she came to Lagos, he shouted at her in front of strangers. At one point, he even told her, "Mama, don't disgrace me. Stay in your small house and let me live my life." Mama Grace wept bitterly. "God, the son I carried on my back has turned against me. What have I done?" Meanwhile, Nkechi strutted around like a queen. She began insulting even Obinna's staff. Yes, you with that nonsense tie. Do you know who I am? I'm the wife of the owner of this company. Respect me." She sacked loyal workers, replaced them with her relatives, and demanded gifts from everyone. People whispered, "This woman has charmed our Oga. He is no longer himself." But charms don't last forever, because heaven, tired of Mama Grace's tears, was preparing a shocking solution. It was a Monday morning, the type of Monday when Lagos looked like it was punishing people for being alive. Traffic horns blared like angry trumpet practice. Hawkers shouted, selling gala and pure water. But high above the chaos, in a tall glass building in Victoria Island, Chief Obinna's office glittered like a palace in the sky. Inside, everything smelled of wealth: Italian leather chairs, golden flower vases, and the cool hum of the AC. Staff were rushing about, carrying files, typing furiously. But the real commander was not Obinna. It was his wife, Nkechi. She walked through the office in a designer gown, heels clicking like police sirens. "You! Drop that file, it's crooked. You! Yes, you! Why are you breathing so loudly? Don't you know this is a billion-dollar company?" she barked. The staff bowed their heads in silence. Some whispered, "God, deliver us from this woman." Obinna, meanwhile, sat in his executive chair, sipping champagne at 10 in the morning. He wore a white agbada with golden embroidery, sunglasses indoors, and a proud smirk on his face. The once humble son who once washed his mother's wrapper was now a man intoxicated with pride and charm. Just then, his phone rang. It was Mama Grace. He looked at it, hissed, and tossed the phone aside. "Why does this old woman keep disturbing me? Doesn't she know I'm busy?" he snapped. Nkechi, sitting beside him with her long red nails, sneered. "Baby, I told you long ago, that woman is a burden. Forget her. Focus on me. I'm your family now." Obinna nodded, blinded. "Yes, my love. Only you matter." The staff watched in silent pity. Their Oga was gone. But heaven has its timetable. The elevator doors suddenly slid open with a ding. Security guards shouted from outside, "Madam, you can't enter here. Madam, wait!" And then, like a storm, the doors of the company flung wide open. A woman stepped in. She was homeless. Her wrapper was torn, her hair unkempt, her slippers mismatched. She looked like someone who had been sleeping under Ojulegba Bridge. But her eyes burned with something no one could explain. The entire office froze. Typing stopped. Phones went silent. Even the AC seemed to lower its volume. "Who allowed this dirty thing into my office?" Obinna thundered, standing up. "This is a billion-dollar company, not a psychiatric hospital." Nkechi jumped to her feet. "Security! Throw this smelling woman outside before she infects the air." But before anyone could move, the woman marched forward. She didn't greet, she didn't beg. She looked Obinna straight in the eyes. And then it happened. Basasa! A thunderous slap landed across Obinna's cheek. The sound echoed through the office like thunder after lightning. Laptops fell. Pens rolled. One secretary screamed, "Blood of Jesus!" and ducked under her desk. Obinna staggered, hand to his cheek, eyes wide. His sunglasses fell to the ground and cracked. For a moment, silence ruled the room. Everyone stared, mouths open. Then, like a dam breaking, memories flooded back into his heart. He saw his mother, Mama Grace, carrying him on her back through the rain, sharing her only Gary with him, singing him lullabies when he cried. He saw her face the day he built her a house, the tears of joy in her eyes. He saw her tears again the day he insulted her, told her to stay away. He saw himself shouting at her, while she quietly tied her wrapper and left his mansion. Obinna gasped. His chest tightened. Tears welled up. His knees felt weak. Nkechi rushed forward, panicked. "Obinna, baby! Don't mind this madwoman. She's crazy. Let's call the police. Baby, don't look at her." But Obinna turned to her, his face trembling with rage and shame. "Shut up, Nkechi!" he roared, his voice shaking the walls. You deceived me. You made me despise my own mother. You brought this darkness into my life." The staff gasped. Some clapped quietly. Others covered their mouths in shock. Nkechi fell to her knees, pretending to cry. "Baby, please, it's not me. It's love. I only wanted your heart to myself." But Obinna ignored her. His eyes followed the homeless woman. The mysterious woman looked at him one last time. Her expression softened, almost like a mother watching her child. Then she turned and walked out of the office calmly. No one dared stop her. Not even security. It was as if everyone knew she wasn't ordinary. Obinna collapsed into his chair, his body trembling. His tears fell freely. For the first time in years, his eyes were truly open. He whispered, voice breaking, "Mama, Mama, forgive me. I must find you." And that was the day the slap of freedom landed. Chief Obinna left the office that same afternoon without even touching his lunch. His Italian shoes stepped into muddy streets, but he didn't care. His agbada was stained with Lagos dust, but it didn't matter. For the first time in years, he was thinking clearly. The image of the slap, the eyes of the mysterious woman, and the face of his weeping mother kept haunting him like a movie on repeat. "Mama, Mama, where are you?" he muttered as his driver drove him straight to the old village road. When he finally arrived at Mama Grace's compound, he found her sitting on a wooden stool under the mango tree. Her wrapper was old, her hands rough from firewood, and a pot of watery soup simmered on the fire. She was humming a hymn, trying to console her lonely heart. "Mama!" Obinna shouted, running out of the car. Mama Grace turned slowly, blinking. When she saw her son kneeling in the sand, tears streaming down his cheeks, she nearly dropped the spoon in her hand. "My son," she whispered. "Obinna, is it really you?" Obinna grabbed her legs, holding them tight like a child. "Mama, forgive me. I was blind. I was foolish. I turned against you. The woman who carried me. The woman who starved so I could eat. Mama, please forgive me." Mama Grace's lips trembled. Tears rolled down her wrinkled cheeks as she pulled him up and hugged him tight. "My son, I never cursed you. Every night I prayed, 'God, open his eyes.' And today, my God has answered." Neighbors gathered quickly, whispering, "See Obinna, the billionaire, kneeling for his mother. Charm no get power past prayer." Oh! Some even wiped their own tears. Others clapped and shouted, "God is faithful." Obinna spent that night in his mother's hut, eating her watery soup with joy. He licked the pot, tears in his eyes, whispering, "This is the best meal I've had in years." The next morning, Obinna returned to his mansion with Mama Grace by his side. Nkechi was waiting, dressed in her expensive gown, makeup shining like mirror. She fell to her knees dramatically the moment he entered. "My husband, please forgive me. It was the devil. I only wanted to keep you for myself. I never meant harm." Mama Grace looked at her calmly, then shook her head. "A tree planted on poison cannot bear sweet fruit. Your time is up." Obinna's eyes flashed with anger. "Nkechi, leave my house today. From now on, my mother is the queen of this home. Pack your things before security packs them for you." Nkechi wailed, rolling on the marble floor, her wig shifting sideways. "Obinna baby, don't do this to me. After all we shared." "Enough!" Obinna thundered. "All we shared was built on lies and charms. Get out before I call the police." Security men, who had long prayed for this day, rushed forward and carried her suitcase. As they dragged her out, she cursed and shouted, but nobody cared. The neighbors outside clapped, laughing. "Oga don wise. The juju don clear. Serves her right. Pride go before a fall." Obinna closed the door, turned to his mother, and knelt again. "Mama, I want to confess something. The woman who slapped me yesterday in my office, she wasn't ordinary. Her eyes looked like yours. Mama, who do you think she was?" Mama Grace's face softened. She smiled faintly, tears glittering in her eyes. "My son, that was not an ordinary woman. That was my own mother, your grandmother's spirit. She came in disguise to free you." Obinna gasped. He suddenly remembered the way the homeless woman had smiled at him. Warm, familiar, almost motherly. A shiver ran down his spine. "Grandmother came for me?" Mama Grace nodded. "Yes, my son. Blood may sleep, but it never dies. The prayers of mothers and grandmothers reach heaven's gate. When evil tries to blind you, God sends his own rescue, even if it comes as a slap. Obinna bowed his head in silence, overwhelmed. For the first time in years, his heart felt light. The news spread like wildfire. Billionaire Chief Obinna sends wife packing. Charm broken by mysterious slap. Mama's prayer stronger than juju. Every blog carried it. Every staff in his company whispered it. And in the village, Mama Grace's name became a song. But inside Obinna's heart, there was no shame, only freedom. Obinna moved his mother permanently into his mansion. This time, not as a visitor, but as the true queen of the home. She sat in the living room comfortably, wrapper tied loosely, fanning herself as housemaids ran around to serve her. One morning, Obinna knelt before her with tears in his eyes. "Mama, I disgraced you before the world. I allowed a strange woman to turn me against you. But today, I want to start afresh. Please bless me." Mama Grace placed her rough, aged hands on his head. Her voice shook with power. Peace returned to Obinna's life like rain after a long dry season. With Nkechi gone, the mansion no longer echoed with insults or fake laughter. Mama Grace's gentle songs filled the halls instead, and staff who once walked on eggshells now worked with joy. But even with wealth, family, and respect restored, one thing was missing: love. A love not built on charms, pride, or pretense, but one that could hold his heart steady. One Saturday morning, Mama Grace persuaded Obinna to attend a community outreach program. "My son, money is sweet, but giving is sweeter," she said. They drove to a community center where widows and orphans were being fed. There, Obinna noticed a young woman moving about tirelessly, serving food, laughing with children, and comforting the elderly. Her name was Amara. She wasn't dressed in gold or diamonds, just a simple Ankara gown, her natural hair tied back. Yet, her smile lit up the room brighter than any chandelier Obinna had ever bought. For the first time in a long time, Obinna's heart skipped a beat. He walked up to her, trying to sound casual. "Young lady, you've been serving others all day. Who is serving you?" Amara looked up, her eyes calm but playful. "Sir, when you serve people, joy serves you back." That simple line pierced Obinna more than 1,000 love songs. He found himself laughing, genuine laughter, the kind he hadn't felt since boyhood. From that day, they became friends. She didn't care about his money. In fact, the first time he tried to impress her by sending flowers and gifts, she returned them with a note. "If you want to impress me, be kind to the poor." That's my language. Mama Grace saw the way her son's face changed when Amara was around. She smiled knowingly. "Obinna, this one is different. She has no charm except the goodness in her heart." Months passed, and their bond grew stronger. Amara helped Obinna run his charity projects, taught him patience, and reminded him daily of humility. One evening, as the sun set behind the mansion garden, Obinna held her hand. "Amara, I've been rich, but I've also been empty. You brought me joy I didn't know I needed. Will you share my life, not as a queen of wealth, but as my partner in love and service?" Tears filled Amara's eyes. She nodded, smiling. "Yes, Obinna. With you, I choose love, not riches." Mama Grace, watching from the balcony, raised her hands in thanksgiving. "God, you've wiped away my tears." Their wedding was simple but grand in its own way. No over-the-top drama, just genuine joy. The choir sang, children danced, and Mama Grace sat in the front row, her smile brighter than the sun. As Obinna and Amara exchanged vows, Obinna whispered in her ear, "This is not the beginning of riches, it is the beginning of rich living." The crowd laughed when Mama Grace stood and shouted in excitement, "Abego, nobody should slap my son again. He has already found his sense." The hall roared with laughter, claps, and cheers. And so, Obinna found not just freedom, but true love. A love built on kindness, humility, and prayers answered. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.